right? So we're being asked for the number of students in Class A. And in the original question stem, we're told that Class A hands in 7 assignments each, which means 7 times the number of students will give us the total number of assignments they handed in for the whole class. And then Class B hands in 5 assignments each. Statement, and we're looking to solve A itself in this situation. This is the variable we're looking for, A equals question mark. So if we know there were 85 total assignments handed in statement 1, and the total was equal to 7A plus 5B, can we nail down exactly what A is? Well, the first thing that pops into my head is this thing on the right is always going to be a multiple of 5, and this is a multiple of 5. If we're adding 2 things together to get a multiple of 5, and one of those things is already a multiple of 5, 7A will also have to be a multiple of 5. Now, it could be 0. 0 is a multiple of 5. Or it could be 5. Or it could be 10. But it has to be a multiple of 5. Now, is it possible to get a total of 85 if I'm adding 7 times 0 plus 5 times B? Well, definitely. 5 times B will have to be 5 times 13, which gets me to 85. What about if I have 35, 7 times 5? Well, then I need 50, so I would have 5 times 10. And what about 7 times 10 getting us to 70? So that would then leave us with 15, which is 5 times 3. So if I look at this, excuse my mistake here, 5 times 17 is 85. So let me correct that real quick. 5 times 17 would give me 85. 5 times 10 and then 5 times 3. And the reason I just picked up on that is because the difference between these should have been consistent, but it wasn't. And that should have been, you'll notice that this is decreasing by 7 each time because 7 of the multiples of 5 are getting moved over to the left because I'm adding 7 times 5 as I go down. So little things like that can help you save yourself when you're doing questions on a test. But we see there's different situations. That makes it insufficient. So I'm taking the devil's advocate kind of trying to prove it insufficient. And if I fail to prove it insufficient, I'll accept that it is actually sufficient. Now, statement 2 on its own saying B is 10 tells me absolutely nothing about what the A is equal to. All that tells me is that there would have been 50 assignments handed in from B. But statement 2 is clearly insufficient as well. Taking the 2 statements together, if I know that B is 10 and 5B is 50, then I know that I need 35 of the assignments to come from 7A to add up to 85, which tells me 7A equals 35 and A equals 5, and that is sufficient. So the answer here is answer choice C. So a bunch of little things in there. The idea of adding multiples to get to further multiples, for example, if I'm at 40, which is a multiple of 8, and I add 16, I will get a multiple of 8 out because I'm adding a multiple of 8 plus a multiple of 8. And due to the law of distribution, this is the same as having 8 times 5 plus 2. And you'll notice that 8 times 7 is 56. So the reason is addition leads to distribution. And so when we're adding multiples of 5 together, I know that I will get a multiple of 5 out. And it's also impossible for me to add something other than a multiple of 5 to an existing multiple of 5 and still get a multiple of 5 as my solution. Just like I can't add any random number to 40 and still get a multiple of 8 out. If I add 15, which is not a multiple of 8, I get 55, which is also not a multiple of 8. But if I add 16, I end up at 56, which is a multiple of 8. So little things like that can help you a lot in terms of deciphering what the test maker is actually asking. But at the end of the day, plug and play with some numbers and you will get it through process of elimination as well.